It's a great complement to what we have already discussed here on the podcast. And if you haven't heard the Moon Cycle series, then it's also a great introduction. It's full of so much information. And aside from that, I put it all in a really pretty presentation. It's easy to follow along with. And if you do head over and check out this special Our Moon Cycle webinar, you will be able to enter to win a ticket to the Let There Be Luz Sacred Red Tent. I am so excited for this red tent. Thank you to We All Grow for opening up the space. So head over there and listen to that webinar so that you can enter to win a ticket to the red tent if you haven't purchased yours already. I also wanted to talk about a new program that We All Grow launched called the Changemakers Collective. It's like a network within a network. There's a private website for anyone that wants to be a part of Changemakers Collective. It is only $14 a month, I believe, somewhere around there to participate monthly, which I think is a really great investment because you get access to great content, not just what we recorded this morning for the Moon Cycle series, but also last week they had a lawyer on there talking about all of the legalities, what to be mindful of when you're creating your own business. So they're constantly pumping out great content. I highly recommend that you become part of the Changemakers Collective. It is so important to invest in yourself. I can't say that enough. So I'm so excited for the red tent. I really wanted to talk to you today about the red tent. Before we get into the Let There Be Luz red tent, I just want to give a really quick overview on what the red tent is. Like, what is that? Where did it originate from? Well, I don't know the answer to that question, but what I do know is that it is referenced in the Bible in the story of Jacob and his wives. They reference the red tent. There is a book based on the story of Jacob's wives and what takes place in the red tent. There's also ancient information where women would gather in what they would call moon lodges. So there's different types of names for the red tent. Essentially, what it is women gathering during their moon cycle, during their bleed. They gather in these tents or in these lodges back in ancient times to sort of relax and be completely in tune with what they were going through during that week, those several days. They didn't have to worry about any chores in their home. They didn't have to tend to their men or tend to any children that were not breastfeeding. If they were menstruating and breastfeeding at the same time, then they were allowed to bring the babies in the red tents with them. It is also said that during this time, women would manifest, set intentions, find solutions to problems. So this was a very sacred ritual. When I first learned about my moon cycle, that very same day was actually on the new moon. I set an intention that I wanted to open up this space, this type of space for women of color. I had gone to red tents previously, led by white women, and I was the only person of color in the room. And I just really wanted to bring this information and this type of energy, this type of circle over to, people of color. I think it is so important, most especially, for women in my community where we don't really get to have these types of conversations with our moms. I do hope to create spaces where us as mothers have a much more open dialogue with our daughters, with our sons, and develop a much more stronger relationship in a different way than the way we grew up. So I set this intention, and I had a window of opportunity where I got to pitch a red tent to the founder of We All Grow, Ana Flores. I love you, Ana. and she gave me the opportunity to host my very first Red Tent. All I had was my idea on what I wanted to do and what I wanted to talk about, and she took a chance on me and she opened up the space for me, so I got to do that. And then I kept telling myself, one day we will have a Let There Be Luz Red Tent. And now here we are, weeks away from the very first annual Let There Be Luz Sacred Red Tent. I got a message from someone on DM that asked me if I had any moon rituals coming up in the month of June, and I didn't. And I thought, you know what? I haven't put a moon ritual together. I think I'm going to pull the trigger and do this red tent that I've been wanting to do for the listeners of Let There Be Luz. So I looked up the next new moon in July, and it just so happened to land on Friday the 13th. My marketing experience kicked in and I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be a disaster. How are you going to market an event that's going to take place on Friday the 13th? No way. Scratch that day. Do something else. Look for another month. But then my intuition just kept nagging at me. And I did remember that the number 13 was tied to the energy of the goddess. So I did some research, I started digging, and I actually found out that before the patriarchy took over, Friday the 13th was actually a really powerful day where women gathered to manifest, to set intentions, and to honor the sacred feminine energy. And at that point, I knew that, you know, all the little signs that trickled down to me finding out this information, I knew that I had to host a red tent. And that is what we're doing now. And I have to say that as I began to do the research on this day, I knew this would be an annual event and that every Friday the 13th, or one Friday the 13th at least in the year, we would have the next annual Let There Be Luz Red Tent. And I have to say that in the future, not for this year, but for the next year or the following year, I envisioned having women contribute, women speakers, I envisioned sponsors, I envisioned something that was really big. And it's been such a roller coaster these last 2 weeks. What I had envisioned for next year is actually manifesting itself for this year. And I want to share that with you all because I want to talk about this journey. I want it to be documented. If you attend or when you see pictures of this event, I know it's going to look amazing. I know because I can already see it. The location is gorgeous. It's already looking fantastic. But I want you to know how scary it was to get to a point where I was able to open up a space in this way. I originally thought that this event would take place at the beach. A canopy that I would decorate red, a table, and we would have a slew of intensive exercises that were exercises that I received from my intuition that are designed to help us grow and to help us overcome certain challenges that we have collectively as women and collectively as people that want to manifest. But I didn't think anything outside of that. I just solely focused on the work itself and what my intuition was telling me to build, the type of exercises that we would be working through for 3.5 hours. By the time I knew it, I was paying a big lump sum to have this event in a gorgeous home, in a gorgeous space. And I have to say, I was really terrified. I was so terrified. I was questioning whether I was doing the right thing. I had so much fear. And luckily, from the support of the team, thank you, Carissa, and thank you, my sister, for just being such an integral part of what is taking place now and believing in my vision, and maybe at some points believing in my vision more than I believe in my vision. A support system like this is so important, and I'm just super thankful that I'm surrounded by women that encourage me and want me to move to the next step in Let There Be Luz. We rented this gorgeous home. It's my dream home. And the event is going to be amazing. So I wanted to share with you what the event was going to look like, okay? We do have a few tickets left. And also there's the opportunity to win the ticket at We All Grow. Don't forget about that. But we do have a few tickets left. I do want to give you a rundown. And I also wanted to do a very special shout out to everyone that is participating in this event, because it is turning into something so spectacular, so magical, that is going to be led by not just myself, but alongside a ton of other warrior women that are going to contribute so much powerful energy to this event. We are going to open up this house early because it is Friday and we know that there is a ton of LA traffic. We're going to open up the house early and give people an opportunity to decompress from the traffic, from the Friday, from the week, from the month, and we're going to absorb the new energy that the new moon is bringing, because not only is this a red tent, but there is also a new moon. It is also Friday the 13th, which we now understand that is a time where women celebrated the feminine energy before patriarchy turned it into an evil day. We are going to open the house and let everyone decompress. There's a beautiful meditation room where you can meditate and chill until we get ready to commence the festivities, get to know each other. At 6 p.m., we are going to open the Sacred Feminine Connection. That is going to take place outside. With some fruit and refreshments that are, I should say aguas, not refreshments, some aguas that are sponsored by Colonia 77. I'm going to link everybody's information in the show notes. Colonia 77, thank you so much for sponsoring this part of the event. I have not had Colonia 77's aguas. I haven't had their refreshments yet. But I hear from so many people that they are a must try. So she is putting together some special concoctions in order to provide us with some pretty powerful refreshments. Thank you so much to Colonia 77 for hosting this part of the event. We're going to go through an intensive feminine connection exercise shortly after we enjoy our aguas and our fruit and get to know each other a little bit more intimately. Then we're going to go into an individual cord cutting experience with clarity for the third eye. Cord cutting is really important. Cord cutting is something that I learned in pranic class. Cord cutting is also something that Marcela Arieta talks about a lot. If you are attached to an emotional event or you have an attachment to a person, a negative attachment. Let's say you get into a fight, you're replaying a fight. You can imagine a cord of energy that is traveling from you to the person or to the event that you have this disagreement with, and you are losing so much vital energy that is traveling through that cord. So in pranic healing, when we perform healings, a lot of the work is pulling out those cords, cutting those cords, and removing all of that energy. So we are going to do some cord cutting there at the event in order to prepare us for the exercises that we have ahead of us. We're also going to do a third eye clarity exercise, which is really just clearing your third eye and getting you ready to focus and envision on the intentions that you will be setting at this red tent. Then we are going to move into what we are calling Cleanse of the Journey. Cleanse of the Journey is sponsored by Majestic Bliss Soaps. Thank you so much, Marcela Arieta, for sponsoring this part of the event. It will also be led by Marcela Arieta. She's going to talk to us a little bit about our hands and the power that they contain. And we are also going to be cleansing our own hands and blessing our own journey as we prepare to write our intentions. After that, we are going to have an amazing group smudging. that is sponsored by Casa Papalot. I am so excited for this. This is going to be led by Casa Papalot's founder, Roxana Diaz, who is a healer. She comes from a lineage of healers in Guatemala. We are so excited to have her contribute her energy. She has knowledge on energy clearing, and she's also a doula. Has all of this incredible power as well. So we're excited to receive the cleansing from her. And then we will be moving into our intention setting. And shortly after that, we will enjoy what is Magic Hour. Magic Hour is such a powerful time of the day, and I feel like sometimes it is overlooked so much, especially right now when we are all so hyper-focused on moon and moon ceremonies and moon rituals. Magic Hour is an amazing communion to have with the sun. And it's actually a time where your intention setting can be the most powerful. So we're going to incorporate the intention setting and the magic hour together and practice our third eye. And then we will move into moon time. We will welcome the moon, welcome the new moon, welcome the new energy. We will welcome this new moon with, again, Casa Papalot. Roxana Diaz is also sponsoring this event. She's going to offer us some moontime tea as we welcome the new moon in. I am so excited for all of this. Then shortly after that, we have another very special exercise that we're calling Light for Your Sister. I'm not going to go into the details of Light for Your Sister because I want to keep this one a little sacred. I think it's a very special ritual that came to me intuitively, and I just think it is so powerful. You can maybe gather a little bit about what it is about just by the title. This special ritual, Light for Your Sister, is sponsored by Just Give. Just GYV. They have some incredible candles with some scents that are extremely familiar to us, like Jamaica, mango, limon. I love their candles, and I've recently been experiencing their cremas, their hand creams. I really can't say enough about not only the products, but everybody that's involved in this red tent, you guys. They were selected very carefully by the Let There Be Luz team. There was a reason why we invited all of these women into this space. And we are so excited to share all of this magic with you. We are going to, after we share some light with our younger sisters, we're going to dance. We're going to do something that is so grounding and so ancient that I think we don't do enough of. At least I don't. Not anymore. Not like when I was in my 20s. I don't dance enough. So Pam Covarrubias from Café con Pam, can you guys believe that she is a dancer? She is a sexy dancer, by the way. I mean, Pam has like 20 personalities. I don't even know, but she has this sexy fire dancer inside of her, and she's going to lend her fire on the red tent and lead us from stretches into a powerful dance. And I can't wait to dance with everyone. I'm so excited. And then we're going to wind down the evening with the very powerful Ana Lilia. Ana Lilia is an amazing breathwork teacher. I have to admit that I have never done breathwork before in my life, but everyone that went to Ana Lilia's class, she offered a class at We All Grow, she offered a seminar. Everyone that came out of that class had the most incredible things to say, how life-changing it was, how powerful it was. So I really can't wait to experience this with you guys. I'm so excited that she agreed to be part of this. I'm in complete gratitude. I can't wait. I am so excited. She's also going to take us into a group meditation. And then we have the closing of our red tent. If you've been to any of my sacred circles in the past, then you know what this closing looks like. If you haven't, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to come and join us. And if all of this wasn't enough, the red tent and everything that's included and everyone that's going to be a part of this, we are also getting together a very, very special gift box for everyone that attends in person. We are preparing a gift box with not only products from the sponsors that were mentioned, but we also have my very best friend, Melissa Rojas, who is creating a little something special for us in our boxes, something very Let There Be Luz. I'm so excited for that. And then we have Sarah Miracle, that is also a big contributor to the gift boxes. I am such a beauty junkie, and the name of the product is called First Light, and it's a Latina favorite by Sarah Miracle. And last but certainly not least, our very own Carissa Raya, Olive La Vida or Aceite Mama, is creating a very special oil blend, a roll-on oil blend for the Let There Be Luz box. So we are so excited for all of everyone's contribution towards this incredible box, and of course towards this event. And then I also just want to give a special thank you to Crystal Dom for our incredible graphic. I do have some special information for those that aren't living in Los Angeles. We are going to go ahead and open up this experience to people that are outside of Los Angeles and want to join. Let me explain. The red tent that we've created for July 13th isn't a standalone event. It's actually a component of 4 other events. So it's a total of a 5-part series. The 4 other events are digital sacred circles where we are following up with each other as the time goes to see where we left off on our intentions. It is hyper-focused on the intention setting portion of the red tent. You will be given specific instructions on how you can participate in your home on Friday, July 13th, what exercises you can do. And then you will be able to join us for the digital portion of it. We're also going to create a special Slack group for everyone that's involved so that we can all exchange resources and really build a community of women. If you feel called to participate in any portion of this red tent, if you can make it live on Friday, July 13th. If you can't, you're somewhere else across the country, then you want to join us digitally. We will have ticket sales up for that part of the event either end of week this week or the beginning of week next week. I am so excited to share this journey of what Let There Be Luz is turning into, what we are creating, all of us together collectively. This is not my podcast. This is our podcast. I love you guys. If you aren't following us on Instagram, please do so at lettherebeluz.com. If you want more information on the Sacred Red Tent, head over to Let There Be Luz, click on events, and you'll see the Sacred Red Tent, and there will be a button at the bottom where you can click and it'll take you to where you can purchase those tickets. Don't forget to check out that webinar. If you haven't rated Let There Be Luz on iTunes, head over to iTunes, write a review, and rate us. I love you all. Till next week, may the light within get stronger.
Return to the one.